Today we're going to start a discussion about the 2013 Kentucky All-State Music Auditions Clarinet excerpts, and we're going to start today with the slow clarinet excerpt, the one in B major. Out of the Rose book, it's number 29 in the traditional Rose 32 Studies book. I'll start off by playing, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the lyricism of this piece. Now, that was one way to play this piece. The piece is marked andante, which literally means walking speed. So it's not a fast piece, it's not a slow piece. It just sort of meanders along. And the thing the student needs to remember about this piece is this is the lyrical excerpt. So generally in this audition you've got two excerpts. You've got a fast one, we want to see how fast you can move your fingers and your tongue and so on and so forth. But this excerpt, the slow excerpt, we want to see how beautifully you can play, how musically you can play, how expressively you can play. And the thing I always tell my students is that we want to forget that you're playing the clarinet, and we just want to hear you sing through your instrument. So a couple things to start off to think about. First of all, you set a tempo, and this is a nice thing about this excerpt, is that we like to hear what you're feeling about. So some people will take it a little bit faster. Some people might take it a little bit slower. Ultimately, as long as the tempo is sort of in the ballpark of andante, you're going to be okay. What we want to hear, though, is your ability to shape and phrase the musical line. Whatever tempo you take, you're probably not going to just stick right to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. You're not going to just stick to a steady eighth note. There's going to be a little bit of rubato involved in this piece. Rubato literally means to rob. So we spread a little bit from this beat to this beat, and maybe we then catch up at the tail end of the measure. But if you're going to sing this, you're probably not going to sing it just like a metronome would beat out time. So this is going to take a little effort on your part and the part of your teacher to help find those spots that naturally want to pull a little bit and naturally want to push a little bit. To begin with, I like to tell my students to let the moving notes roll a little bit. So in music, frequently we roll through the small notes, in this case the eighth notes, and then we get to the long notes, and those are points of repose, like this. Now this is not a license to rush. That would sound ridiculous, but it does tell you that we're sort of imitating human speech. Sometimes when we've got something important to say, we might push a little bit to get to the important word, or we might actually wait a little bit and cause the person listening to attend to what we're saying a little bit more carefully. And so a general rule for me is I'm letting the eighth notes roll just a little bit, and then I'm pulling back and I'm sort of catching my breath on the long notes. This piece is really divided into two sections. The first section goes all the way to the fourth measure of the second line, the octave F sharps. And that's divided into two pieces. There's a great breathing spot at the end of the first line. After the student plays the D sharp, you can catch your breath. The E, the D sharp is a pickup into the next bar. So if you can't do it all in one breath, that's a perfect spot to breathe. And then the second section starts in the last measure of the second line. The first section is very lyrical, very, very sweet, very, very lovely. The second section, because of the chord structure and because of the angular nature of the line, actually picks up a little intensity. You can hear it. And then the piece sort of pulls back. If you were to play the rest of the exercise, you would see how it would then filter back into something a little bit more similar to the way the piece began. So that's a start on this first excerpt. What we want to hear is we want to hear the student play from the heart. We want to hear you sing, and in fact, it's a great exercise to actually sing this excerpt because it's very hard to sing mechanically. Our souls get in the way, and they want to make music. So maybe practice, close the door in your practice room, your bedroom, wherever you practice, and sing the line, and frequently that opens things up for you to experiment with then on your instrument. So we hope you enjoy practicing this very, very beautiful excerpt from the Rose Studies, number 29, excuse me. I'll be back and we'll talk about some more little details of this piece in subsequent sessions. All right, have a great day and practice hard.